Hello, welcome to No Inches DIY. Big day today. Pulled everything out of this bench and cleaned the bench and reorganised everything. It's looking spectacular. So I thought to celebrate I might start a new project. I think this is a piece of camphor laurel, so I'll be careful when I work with it. But it's a bit cupped and it's obviously been a workbench or something. So I'm going to take these straight edges off, take the round edges off, and then re-round them with a smaller rounding. To pull all that cupping out and everything, I'm going to put a fairly heavy steel frame on this. So this bit had a piece cut off at 45, so that gave me an idea. I'll cut all off at 45. And then I'll weld a piece of angle between the two. That'll give it some good rigidity, angle on the diagonal like that. And then in these, this is where I'll put a couple of big screws to hold that flat. For the legs, rebar, just on that side of the 45 there. And then I'll probably have a third one coming out there just for a bit of rigidity. If I got my act together, I could probably get this done and get myself down to the pub. I'm going to just cut out my angles, cut out my Rio bars, then I might be able to start putting it together. It's got a bit warm on me. A less flammable shirt. I didn't think flannelette shirts burnt like that, so I've got a limited edition Bryety shirt. Some of this Rio is very, very rusty, so it's going to need a tune up with the wire brush. So I'll just unplug and swap. I'm going to use a wire brush. I've had a piece off a wire brush go about 25mm into my chest once, and I had to unscrew it out of there. So I'm going to wear a face mask as well. Safe. Less safe, but when you plug it in, more effective. Those will come in like that, and I'll be met with a piece from there. I've just got to drill holes for the screws that will screw into the bottom underside of the tabletop. Doing a 3mm first. I'll take it out of hammer. I'll go up to 4.5mm, cooling as I go. Keep going up through the sizes. Might go through at 6mm, that'll mean any screw that I choose to use will fit through that. Finally, I'll just go through there with the 12mm drill bit. But I don't like what that's doing to the drill bit. This one was a bit odd because it had half a drill hole from the underside. So I'll just finish this one by hand. I've got this set out. That set out was a bit low tech, but let's see how we went. Reasonably good. It's all set up. It's got to be tacked together. So I had this tabletop under clamp yesterday and I almost got all the cupping out of it. That end there is just about perfect. This end still had a couple of millimeters in it. So what I've done is just put some plastic cards in there, one set in the middle, a set either side, and I'm bending it past where it needs to be. And then I will put some hot water on it and then let it dry out. And then seal this underside and we should get it somewhere near straight. Now if you'll join me over here in the dust-free painting workshop, This got a bit of a workout with the paint yesterday, just an undercoat. Still got to design a solution here for the ground leg interface, because this is pretty sharp. It's going to muny up any flooring that you've got. I've realised I've got to take this old surface off, because the new surface and the old surface will never match. So I'm on the belt sander and the Ferrex sander and probably the 1000 grit on this resin, and I'll get that tuned up. On the legs, these experimental leg caps that I built, I really don't like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to employ this product, and I'm going to basically knead some kind of ball on the end that will be less harsh on the floor. So I've taken the surface off that. I tried to do it with the 120 grit on the belt sander. All that did was clog up the belts, so I wasted a couple of belts on that. So I took it off with 80, brought it back with more 120. I'm just drilling some little blind holes on here just so the kneader has something to grab onto. Now the safety instructions say knead with fingers. Whenever I see something like that, I assume it'll probably only give you cancer in 20 years time when it's unprovable. But you mix the hardener and the other piece together and it has a lovely smell, and that's probably to try to convince you that it's not nougat or something so you don't eat it. I think I've got that suitably mixed in half again. Now the good thing about this product is you can sand it. Know how quick you've got to work. I should have probably read that. These legs that I put the putty on, they're a bit too high on two sides, so I've marked them. I'm going to use a flap disc, just take it down that last little bit, and then I'll test it to see if it still rocks, and then it should be good to give the last spray paint to these legs and then put it back together. I've guessed that perfectly. There's no wobble in that at all. The surface looks pretty good for a brush painted surface. I'm happy with that. Now I'm just going to give these legs a paint. Here's the finished product, screwed together. Got quite a nice finish. Must thank the late Fred Jamison for this timber, and I hope I've done him proud.